Average weight, 166 pounds. 10-hour shifts on concrete floors, 6 days a week. The 1944 American diner customer was leaner, stronger, and healthier than the average American man is today. His breakfast was 3 eggs fried in bacon grease, buttermilk pancakes off a cast-iron griddle, chipped beef on toast, black coffee with cream poured straight from a glass bottle delivered that morning. He never read a nutrition label. He never counted a calorie. And almost every single thing on his plate has now been banned, restricted, or stripped of the ingredients that made it what it was. Not by doctors, by the Food and Drug Administration, by the United States Department of Agriculture, by the United States Congress. 10 foods that fueled the generation that won the war. Every single one of them, ruled illegal in its original form. We're counting them down from 10 to 1. And by the end, you're going to understand why the food on your plate today doesn't look anything like the food that built the men who built America. Coming in at number 10, diner meatloaf. In 1944, with red meat strictly rationed by the Office of Price Administration, every diner in the country stretched ground beef with whatever organ meat the local butcher had left over. Liver, heart, kidney, sometimes brain. It was cheap. It was nutrient-dense. It tasted like food that came from an actual animal. The original Salisbury steak was the same dish dressed up with brown gravy. Then, on January 12, 2004, the United States Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service issued an interim final rule banning what regulators now call specified risk materials: beef brain, beef spinal cord, beef tonsils, the entire vertebral column of any animal over 30 months old, codified at 9 CFR 3:10.22. The 1940s house meatloaf, made the way Grandma made it, is now a federal crime to sell. But it gets worse. Because if number 10 was about what they put in the meat, number 9 is about how they cooked it. Number 9. The diner hamburger. The original McDonald's opened in San Bernardino in 1940. 15 cents for a burger. 19 cents with cheese. Cooked on a flat-top griddle in beef tallow, the same tallow used all day long. That's how every burger in America was made. Then, in 1990, McDonald's caved to a public pressure campaign and switched their fries to vegetable oil. The diners followed, and here's the irony: the vegetable oils that replaced the tallow were the exact substances the FDA would later ban. Beef tallow itself isn't illegal. The slaughter practices that produced 1940s ground beef are: air injection captive bolt stunning, which forced central nervous system tissue into the carcass, is banned. Mechanically separated beef from older cattle is banned. The 1940s burger isn't on any modern menu because the supply chain that made it doesn't exist anymore. Number 8. Bacon and eggs. Cooked in bacon grease. Standard breakfast. Standard everywhere. The bacon itself was cured with sodium nitrate and sodium nitrite, often at residual levels that would not pass a single USDA inspection today. After the nitrosamine scares of the 1970s, the Food Safety and Inspection Service capped ingoing sodium nitrite for pumped bacon at 120 parts per million. They phased sodium nitrate almost entirely out of bacon production. The 1940s cure, the one that gave bacon that deep red color and that specific taste your grandfather remembered his whole life, that exact chemistry is no longer legal in American bacon. Number 7. The Diner Milkshake. A 1944 vanilla shake started with whole milk delivered in glass bottles from a local dairy that morning, often unpasteurized. Living enzymes, natural vitamin A, cream that rose to the top of the bottle because nobody had homogenized it. Then, on August 10, 1987, the FDA published 21 CFR 1240.61, mandatory pasteurization for all milk in interstate commerce, effective September 9th of that year. It is now a federal crime to ship a glass of raw milk across a state line. Some states still allow intrastate sales. Most don't. The shake your grandfather drank at the counter for a nickel, federally illegal in its original form for nearly 40 years. If you think that's bad, the next 4 are where this turns dark. Because the next 4 foods aren't about ingredients that were quietly retired. They're about ingredients the federal government determined were actively harming Americans, and every single one of them was on the menu of every diner in the country. Number 6. Chicken fried steak, a descendant of German schnitzel adapted by Texas diners. By the 1940s, it was a Southern and Midwestern staple, fried in a deep cast iron pan of partially hydrogenated shortening, Crisco. The cream gravy was made from the same drippings. On June 16, 2015, the Food and Drug Administration issued a final determination declaring partially hydrogenated oils not generally recognized as safe. Compliance date, June 18, 2018. The original Crisco that defined American frying for over a century. Banned. Procter & Gamble had actually reformulated Crisco 8 years earlier, in January 2007, to under 1 gram of trans fat per serving. The modern can looks the same. What's inside it is a completely different substance. Number 5. Liver and onions. The Tuesday Blue Plate Special. Diner lingo called it, "Put out the lights and make 'em cry." During the war, anthropologist Margaret Mead led a federal program called the Committee on Food Habits with one job: convince Americans to eat organ meats so the prime cuts could go to the troops. It worked. By 1945, organ meats were on every diner menu: calves' brains scrambled with eggs, fried sweetbreads, beef tongue sandwiches. The 2004 Specified Risk Materials Rule didn't just ban brain and spinal cord. It made the entire commercial supply chain for organ meats so expensive to verify that slaughterhouses simply stopped processing them. The dish is technically legal. The ingredients have effectively vanished. Number 4. The bright red maraschino cherry on top of every sundae, every milkshake, every slice of cherry pie. That color came from FD and C red number 2, amaranth dye. By 1976, over 1 million pounds of it were being used in $10 billion worth of American food. Then, in January 1976, the FDA banned it. A Soviet study had linked it to cancer in rats. Mars Candy Company pulled red M and MS from store shelves for 9 years, even though Mars had never used red number 2 in the first place. They pulled them just to avoid consumer panic. The cherries on the sundaes switched to FD and C red number 3, erythrocene. And then on January 15, 2025, the FDA banned that one too. Compliance date for food, January 15, 2027. The bright red cherry that sat on top of a 1944 banana split has now been illegal twice in 2 different formulations. Number 3. The diet pie. By the late 1940s, diabetic-friendly desserts were sweetened with cyclamate, a chemical discovered by accident by a graduate student at the University of Illinois in 1937. The FDA gave it generally recognized as safe status in 1958. Then, on October 18, 1969, Health, Education, and Welfare Secretary Robert Finch banned it. An Abbott Laboratories rat study had produced bladder tumors at doses equivalent to a human drinking 350 cans of diet soda a day. The American Council on Science and Health later argued the dose was 120 times higher than any human could plausibly consume. Cyclamate is legal in Canada. It's legal in 55 other countries. In the United States, it has been federally banned for over 55 years. Number 2. The apple pie crust. The single most American thing on this entire list. In 1916, Procter & Gamble was selling 60 million cans of Crisco a year, 3 cans for every family in the country. By the 1940s, every diner pie crust in America was made with it, or with leaf lard, or with both. In June 2015, the FDA determination that banned chicken fried steaks frying medium also banned the original Crisco pie crust. The trans fats that defined American baking for 100 years were eliminated from 98% of the U.S. food supply between 2015 and 2018. The FDA estimated the ban would prevent thousands of heart attacks every year. Critics noted that in 1986, the Center for Science in the Public Interest had publicly praised Burger King for switching to the exact same partially hydrogenated oil they would later spend decades fighting to ban. Whatever side you take, the apple pie crust your grandmother made, exactly the way she made it, is now federally illegal to sell. Which brings us to number 1. The single most banned food on this entire list: creamed chipped beef on toast. The military called it a name we can't say on this channel. The first published recipe appeared in the 1910 Manual for Army Cooks, updated in Technical Manual 10-412 in August 1944. Dried beef, butter or bacon grease, flour, whole milk poured over toast. Every U.S. Army mess hall served it. Every diner from Pittsburgh to San Diego had it on the menu. And it is the only dish on this list where every single original component is now banned or restricted. The whole milk version, federally restricted across state lines since 1987. The partially hydrogenated shortening commercial diners used in industrial volumes, federally banned since 2018. The chipped beef itself, when sourced from older cattle the way it was in the 1940s, restricted under the Specified Risk Materials Rule since 2004. Number 1 isn't just a banned food, it's a banned recipe. End to end, top to bottom. So here's what this list actually is. It's not a story about doctors banning food. Doctors don't ban food. The FDA bans food. The USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service bans food. The United States Congress bans food. Sometimes for solid scientific reasons. Sometimes under a 1958 statute called the Delaney Clause that requires a ban on any additive shown to cause cancer in any animal at any dose, even when the FDA itself acknowledges the mechanism doesn't apply to humans. That's the actual story. Some of these bans saved lives. Some of them, like cyclamate, are still scientifically contested 55 years later. The question isn't whether the 1940s American diet was perfect. It wasn't. Coronary heart disease mortality peaked in 1968. The men eating these foods were also smoking 40% of the time. The question is what happened to the food itself? Because somewhere between the steelworker walking into that diner in 1944 and the modern American walking into a fast food chain today, the actual substance of American food was rebuilt, ingredient by ingredient, regulation by regulation. The dishes still have the same names. The recipes in the cookbooks still read the same way. But the things that made the food what it was, the raw cream, the leaf lard, the unhomogenized milk, the offal in the meatloaf, the hydrogenated shortening, the petroleum-based dyes, the cyclamate sweeteners, almost none of it is on a menu anywhere in America anymore. Whether you think that's progress or loss depends on where you stand. But it is the answer to a question almost nobody asks. Why doesn't food taste the way it used to? Because legally, in most cases, it can't. If this story changed the way you see the food on your plate, hit subscribe. We're working through the meals, the menus, and the moments that built America, one forgotten chapter at a time.